Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video I'm going to be talking a little bit about the flying unlock for 9.2, kind of like a controversy type thing that's been going on with that. I'm going to kind of give my own opinion on it and kind of put that out there into the nether, I guess we would say in this scenario. Put that out there and hopefully, throw my own ideas into the ring here. So, in 9.2, as of right now, the flying takes about 17 days to unlock. You do it by just kind of doing the system that comes with the new zone. They did a good job with the system to not represent player power, so you do not have to interact with it if you are someone who's just about increasing the power of your player. However, if you're very casual, this will be a place to get gear and stuff, so you will be interacting with the zone. But yeah, it takes about 17 days to unlock flying there. So this feels bad to a lot of players who would rather fly, if not day one, rather quickly, just because, after you kind of explore the whole zone, is there really much else that you really should not be able to fly for? You have all these flying mounts, etc., stuff like that. Now, I personally don't think like 2 weeks is a long time to wait for flying to let you experience everything. And this is a little bit more than 2 weeks, of course, but to let you experience everything, and then you can fly around the zone freely and do what you want. And I totally get that from a developer point of view, where they want you to kind of experience the zone, but I do kind of just disagree with the way it goes about. So, I think they've done it well in other cases. I don't have a great example myself, right, of a solution to this, but what I can do is kind of talk about how it kind of feels bad, right? So normally I'm not on this side of of an argument, right, where I'm saying, yeah, this actually does feel bad, and this is kind of more of like the classic Andy argument, which I technically am, but I'm not normally on that side of the argument of this kind of stuff. So back in the day, you would just purchase flying. It would cost a lot of gold. You would purchase it. Same with just getting your mount in general, right? You just learn the requisite training, and then you can do it. It's just you save up gold. That the time sink is just acquiring gold essentially, but that's just playing the game. And you can get gold in any way you want. You don't have to do like a certain zone, to get gold, right? And so that was the old way. With WoW tokens, that becomes much more difficult. Now, so this is a problem that they created themselves with WoW tokens. Having it be gold based would just, you could just buy your flying with real money. That feels, I mean, there's already a lot of things in the game that feel bad because of that. That would feel bad if they made it like a substantial amount of gold to get your flying for an expansion or for a zone. And then you just buy it with a WoW token. That would feel pretty bad for those who actually have to farm the gold. So that's in my opinion why they don't just do that anymore. However, basically, I just think it should. And I kind of said my overarching theory already, in that, so before you could farm gold any way you wanted and then get your flight training. So I think for this, you should be able to almost do any piece of content that you want, that you like to do, and put some sort of resource or some sort of currency that you get from the content towards getting your mount unlocked or whatever. This could be something like you do turn-ins to unlock the flying, but the currency comes from everywhere. So there's a new currency, there's this new system, there's there's going to be new currencies. You can get this currency from doing random dungeons. You can do this currency from doing world quests. You can get this currency from doing old content, from doing anything, right? Anything you do drops some of this currency. So that way, no matter what you're doing, no matter why you like to play the game, I mean, if you are literally just sitting in Stormwind or Orgrimmar running in circles, yes, you're not going to earn any currency that way, I guess. But whatever you like to do, like selling, even like you could, I don't know how they could implement this with their limited ability to to interface these things, but like you even like selling auctions or something could earn you some currency just by, well, I'm participating in the economy. That's something I like to do. But just all these creative ways, and I think that would be a better way for something like flying specifically, because while it is just for this zone and flying's already unlocked everywhere else, it's just one of those things where it feels like it's a part of your character. And it's like, so even though it's only flying for Zereth Mortis in this case, you likely already have flying unlocked elsewhere. even though it's only for there, it just feels like your character should be able to fly wherever you go, because you've already introduced flying. You've been flying for if you've played since BC for a long time, and it just kind of feels bad every time to have to unlock it in a certain way, especially if that way is limiting you. I think the Pathfinder stuff is actually overall fine. I think some people are bored with it, but it's fairly simple, right? You just do the main story quest, you unlock flying. That and if it was framed that way, right, instead of it being a Pathfinder achievement, if they just said do the main story quest, you can fly. I think a lot of people will be just fine with it. I think a lot of people are fine with it, honestly, if you actually think about it. But if you're going to do several unlocks during an expansion with new zones, because you got to remember, in a normal expansion, we would get another new zone in like a 9.3 patch, where would we have to unlock flying there, or would there just be no flying? Like we had no flying in the Maw or in Korthia. But I think flying should be a part of the game. I think flying should be everywhere. And I think flying should be a part of your character, and that's how you should make it feel. So just playing the game should be how you unlock your flying. And that's because that's how it used to be, first of all, with gold. You're playing the game, you kill a mob, you loot something that you can either sell for gold, or you directly loot silver or copper or gold or whatever from the mob that can go towards your mount. I think the same thing should just be true for this. I understand trying to tie it to a zone, because you're unlocking flying for this zone, so you should have to do something in this zone. And I do get the thoughts behind that, but I'm going to do the zone probably mostly on my alt. I'll do it on my main as well, but I'll probably mostly be doing it on my alt, since it's not tied to player power at all. And if I feel like farming an old raid one night or something, I think it'd be cool to get some of the currency needed for the unlock from that as well. And I shouldn't have to be tied to playing this one specific content that you just put out. If the content's really good, people will do it anyways. You won't have to twist their arms if the content's like, or if it's just like so easy, or you get so much of the currency that it's like when they increase the experience gained during the beginning of the pandemic. Like, people were just leveling characters because it was like, well, I'm not going to waste this great amount of experience gain. I'm just going to level up a bunch of characters. The same thing is the case. If you do something that everyone likes and it's generally good, or just generally highly rewarding, people are just going to do it. So you won't have to worry about people doing the zone if the zone is done well. People will just be there anyways, doing it and getting the currency, unlocking the flying. I also don't think it should necessarily be time gated at all. I think if you want to farm it out, you should be able to farm it out. That's kind of just how I feel about things, as like a raider and stuff like that. You'll see like the really high end raiders, like the world first raiders, being like, if I want to farm this out in one day, if I want to play 24 hours straight, why can't I just play 24 hours straight and unlock it and then never do it again? I'm in that boat as well for the most part, right? I get trying to protect players from themselves too, but I think being able to farm something out if you choose to is kind of what this genre of game is all about. So I don't think it should be time gated to 17 days in this case either. I think if it's going to be time gated, it should be time gated for a reason, because of like the main story quest, because of so like a new chapter of the main story quest is unlocked or whatever each week. I think, like I said, I think the Pathfinder thing is generally okay. It's a bit slow paced. You don't get like a ton of content each week with it, so I think they could like shorten the time down and like do twice the amount of content each week, like cut the time in half and double the content each week with the Pathfinder stuff, or Renown in this case for this expansion. But yeah, that's my general thoughts on it. If any Blizzard person would ever see this, that's just try to reward the players just for playing the game. If you're going to have some sort of currency thing, try not to time gate it as much as possible. If you're going to time gate it through the story. Don't even have a currency to unlock it. Just be like, okay, you completed the story, and because of that, so we're in Zereth Mortis. So you saved Zereth Mortis, so we're going to give you this special ability to allow your mounts to now fly. They couldn't fly in Maw and Korthia because there's like magic that stops them from flying, but we can bypass that magic if we choose to. Here we have that ability, and since you helped us, we're gonna give you that ability to do it. And you could just make up a story for it, complete the main story quest, unlock flying. There you go. You just log on, have flying. There's also arguments just to have flying and not have to unlock it. I'm not necessarily in that boat, but I actually do see the logic in that as well. So those are just my thoughts on the whole flying situation. I'm not angry about it either way. I'm fine with time gating. I would prefer time gated behind story than like a currency farm than time limit on how much you can be how much you can be researching and stuff like that. I think that just feels bad. But yeah, here's hoping that they could just do better in the future with this, especially with flying, which it can be a hot topic issue in general, just because there's some people who are just against flying in general. So it's always, when there's such polar opposites, it's always going to be a hot button issue, I suppose. So as always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.